Everybody's talking about protein these days, and one of the easiest way to increase your protein consumption is including protein powders in your diet. Well, what most people don't know is that not all proteins are created equal. And in today's video, I'm going to talk about the truth about protein powders that you should be knowing about before you buy your next protein powder, because the wrong kind of protein powder can actually harm your body rather than benefiting it. Now listen carefully over here. Protein powders are not the enemy. The right protein powder can be really very helpful for you in building your muscle, in improving your lifespan, and can also be a useful tool, specifically if you want to lose weight. But the wrong protein powder or the wrong ingredients in that protein powder is where the problem is, because that can literally damage your gut, can lead to bloating issues, can cause stomach upset, and in fact can lead to inflammation in your body and ultimately damage your body. So in today's video, I'm going to discuss, do you actually need protein powder or not? And if you should be using protein powders, then which kind of protein powder is the right kind for your body type? Along with that, I want to talk about hidden ingredients which make these protein powders poison for your body. And then my simple label test that will tell you whether this protein powder is worth buying or not. Make sure you stay till the end, because I'm going to share with you my 5-step checklist that you need before you buy your next protein powder. Now, in today's world, protein powder has become the most common supplement used worldwide. And definitely, protein is very important for your body, because protein not only supports your muscle, it supports your gut lining. It is the repair mechanism of your body, plus supports your metabolic machinery. And specifically after the age of 40, protein becomes even more important. Because after the age of 40, we start gradually losing muscle mass. Along with that, our gut is not functioning optimally, so we do absorb less amount of protein. And because of hormonal changes in our body, we again need those extra amino acids to rebalance our hormones. So that's the reason I totally support that hype around the protein, that definitely you need more protein in your diet. You can get this protein from natural food sources also, but for some people it is a challenge and they want to rely on protein powders. But first of all, it is very important to know protein powders are not a replacement to a healthy diet. They can fill the protein gap in your diet, but they cannot be the only source of protein in your diet. Okay, so let's first talk about which kind of protein powder is best for your body type. So there are three main kinds of protein powders which are available on the market. One is the whey containing protein powder, the second one is plant-based protein powders, and the third one is the animal-based protein powder, which includes the collagen protein and other animal protein powders. Now let's break it down for all these three kinds of protein powders. Let's talk about the whey protein powders, because those are the most common protein powders which people are using. The whey protein powders are derived from dairy. One of the good things about whey protein powder that they are complete protein. That means they have all the amino acids needed by your body. Specifically, they are rich in leucine. That is an amino acid which is needed for muscle building. That's the reason majority of the gym trainers or people going to the gym will use whey protein powder to build the muscle. But here is the problem that people do not know about whey. As whey comes from dairy, and we know current dairy, the way it is being produced, it is filled with chemicals and different kinds of hormones. So that's the reason the whey protein that comes from the dairy also has started affecting people in a negative way. People can have gas, bloating, or stomach upset from these whey containing protein powders. Plus, because they come from dairy, they can also contribute in causing more inflammation in your body and also can lead to hormonal dysfunction, specifically in female. And the other problem is that majority of the whey containing protein powder comes from whey concentrate and not from whey isolate. The difference is that the whey concentrate has very less amount of proteins in them as compared to the whey isolate. But because the whey concentrate is cheaper, most of the brands will use whey concentrate. So that's the reason. The good part about whey protein is that it is definitely very helpful in building muscles. But the bad part is that because it comes from dairy, it can be high in chemicals, can lead to stomach upset, can cause hormonal dysfunction, and also increase inflammation in your body. And plus, the kind of whey in your protein powder, is it whey concentrate or whey isolate? You need to look up that also. Now let's move on to the plant-based containing protein powders. Now these are the typical protein powders which come from plant-based sources like pea protein, chia seed protein, brown rice protein, or hemp protein. Now, the good part about plant-based protein powders is that because they do not contain dairy, they are easier to digest for people. Plus, they do not affect hormones in a negative way and they do not cause inflammation in people's body. And plus, majority of the companies are using a blend of plant-based protein powders, so that way you're getting all of the essential amino acids. So that's the good thing about plant-based protein powders. But here's the catch, not all plant-based protein powders are created equal. What that means is that a lot of plant-based protein powders, to reduce the cost, they will add soy to it. Now, soy is one of the foods worldwide which is completely genetically modified and has a lot of chemicals in it. And plus, soy can also affect hormones negatively. So that's the first thing. Make sure you're looking for a protein powder which doesn't have any soy into it. The second problem in plant-based protein powders was that there were some heavy metals that were found in them because the soil in which these plant-based protein powders were grown might be contaminated with heavy metals. So it is very important to make sure that the brand you're buying from has third-party testing for heavy metals into it. So that's the positive and negatives about the plant-based protein powders. Now let's move on to the animal-based protein powder. The most common one among them is collagen protein powder. Now the good thing about collagen is that it is really good in supporting your skin, your connective tissues, and also your joint tissues. Plus it is easy to digest and also supports your gut health. But here's the problem with collagen protein. It lacks one amino acid called tryptophan. And this tryptophan plays very significant role in certain enzymatic reactions, specifically for building the muscles. But certain other animal source protein powders are a complete source of protein in there. So that's the good and the bad about collagen protein powders, that it is easier on your gut, supports your skin and connective tissues, but the bad part is that it is not a complete source of protein and does lack tryptophan into it. So now the next question is that which is the best protein powder for you? So over here there is no clear winner, but I will say if your only goal is muscle building, you are quite young, you can tolerate dairy and you do not have any chronic health conditions, then definitely Whey isolate protein powder is something that you can try. But for people specifically above the age of 40, plant-based protein powders are a better choice. And then if you are above the age of 50, then collagen protein powder might be a good source for you. But along with collagen protein powder, make sure either you are alternating with a plant-based protein powder or you are eating foods which are a complete source of protein. Now let's talk about the other hidden ingredients in the protein powders that you need to look before you buy your next protein powder. The first over here are artificial sweeteners. Most of the protein powders will either add natural flavors, natural sugars, sweeteners like sucralose, or other artificial flavors. You do not want any of these ingredients in your protein powders. Now, if you're looking for a sweetener, buy a protein powder which either is sweetened with stevia or monk fruit, or simply buy some unsweetened protein powder. So artificial sweeteners is the next thing that you need to look at your protein powder label. The next hidden ingredient in protein powders is gums, thickeners, and additive agents. So on the ingredient list, if you find things like xanthan gums, guar gums, cellulose gums, carrageenans, or thickening agents, stay away from that protein powder because they are again chemicals added to your protein powder which again can harm your gut. Okay, so now you know about the hidden ingredients, the artificial sweeteners, the gums, the fillers, and also the different kinds of protein powders. Now the next bigger question is that do you really need protein powders? Well, the answer to that question is that if you have a diet which is high protein diet, you do not need these protein powders. You can get all of your protein requirements from your diet itself. So in that instant, if you do eat animal products like chicken, fish, turkey, red meats and eggs, then definitely these are all great sources of protein and give you enough amount of protein if you consume them with each and every meal of yours. If you're vegan or vegetarian, then definitely you need to work a little bit harder to get your enough protein requirements, and you have to rely on lentils, legumes, chickpeas, beans, nuts and seeds like chia seeds, flax seeds, pumpkin seeds to get your protein requirements. Now, unfortunately, a lot of these foods do come with carbohydrates also. So if you're trying to cut down on your carbohydrates and just want proteins, then adding a protein powder is not a bad idea. So, who are those people who will truly benefit from adding protein powder to their diet? So, first of all, for the people who are above the age of 40, adding a protein powder is not a bad idea, because definitely that gives you the complete source of protein and definitely is going to support your muscle growth. Specifically for females, protein powder addition can be very useful because that not only supports their muscle growth but also helps their metabolism as well as hormones in their body. Along with that, if you are unable to eat enough quantity of protein in each and every meal of yours, then again addition of protein powder can be an easy way of increasing your protein consumption. Specifically if you are a vegan or vegetarian and you're trying to do a low carbohydrate diet, then definitely adding a protein powder will give you plain protein without that additional carbs in there. Alright, now let me share with you my 5-step checklist that you need before you buy your next protein powder. Number 1 checklist: check the source of protein powder, whether it is whey isolate, a blend of plant-based protein powder, or collagen protein powder. The checklist number 2: how long is the ingredient list? If the ingredient list is too long and some of those names you do not know what they mean, then again try to stay away from that particular protein powder. Checklist number 3: does it have artificial sweeteners except for stevia or monk fruit? If any other sweetener is present, stay away from it. Checklist number 4: is it third party tested for heavy metals? This is specifically important for plant based protein powders. And the final checklist, 5th, is basically how do you feel after drinking this protein powder? Do you feel energized and feel better, or do you feel stomach upset, gas, bloating, or gut irritability? Because if your body is rejecting this particular protein powder, then definitely it is not good for you to consume it. So here you go. Now you have the 5-step checklist to check your protein powder, whether it is good for you or not. And so it supports your health in a positive way and not in the negative way. Make sure you like and subscribe to my channel so you keep on getting these health related information in the future also. So today you know the truth about protein powders, what is really in them, how they can be useful, but at the same time they can be poison for your body. So pick the right protein powders. Share in the comment section if there was an aha moment. Specifically, you found a problem in your protein powder. Share it with us so everybody can benefit from it. I hope you like this video. This is it from my side. See you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.